Welcome to the first letter written to yourself. I am John Miller, and welcome to the Be English podcast.
And I am Emily Carter. It is so genuinely wonderful to have you all here with us today. John, last Tuesday was one of those days where the world just felt incredibly heavy.
Oh, what happened on Tuesday, Emily?
Well, I was driving home in the rain here in Seattle. The traffic was absolutely terrible. We were barely moving for over an hour. Earlier that day, I had spilled coffee all over my favorite shirt, and then I made a rather silly mistake during a team meeting at work. I just sat there in my car, staring at the red taillights in the rain, feeling this deep, crushing pressure. Have you ever felt that sudden wave of loneliness and overthinking?
Oh, absolutely. I think every single one of us has those moments where we let the stress of a long day sit heavily on our shoulders. We start to overthink and we replay every small mistake in our minds until it feels like we are completely failing at life.
Exactly. I was making myself so miserable over basically nothing. It is exhausting to live inside a mind that is always worrying.
Well, that beautiful letter we are reading today addresses exactly this feeling. It tells us, starting today, always keep a smile on your face. Because in this grand, unpredictable world, apart from life and death, everything else is just a small matter.
Apart from life and death, everything is a small matter. That really stops you in your tracks, doesn't it? It changes everything.
It really does. So today, we want to talk about how we can actually live this way. How can we stop punishing ourselves for small mistakes? How do we naturally brush off bad luck and embrace today as a beautiful, fresh start? Let's take a peaceful journey together to find some quiet clarity for our minds.
Let's break this down, John. When I was sitting in my car feeling so terrible about my spilled coffee and my mistake at work, I was treating tiny errors like they were the end of the world. Why do we human beings do that?
I believe it is because we easily lose our perspective. Perspective is a wonderful English word for our listeners to learn. It means the way you view the world or how you accurately judge the true importance of things. When we are tired or stressed, our perspective shrinks, and every little annoyance feels like a giant emergency.
That is so true. When you take a step back and look at the big picture, most things we worry about really are just small matters. It makes me think of a famous historical figure from America, Thomas Edison. He was the incredible inventor who helped create the electric light bulb.
Oh, that is a fantastic example. Thomas Edison faced so many huge, heartbreaking setbacks in his career.
Yes, he did. When he was an older man, his massive research laboratory accidentally caught on fire. Years and years of his highly expensive work, his notes, his machines, just burning to the ground in one single night. You would think he would cry or simply give up entirely.
But he didn't, right? What did he actually do?
He actually called his family to come outside and watch the flames. He told his son that they would never see a fire that beautiful again. He said, "All of our mistakes are burning up tonight, so we can start completely fresh tomorrow."
Wow, that is the absolute ultimate example of keeping your perspective. He deeply understood that as long as his family was alive and safe, the loss of the building was just a small matter. It was not life or death.
But John, what if we are not as mentally strong as Thomas Edison? The letter says, even if you encounter troubling things, do not make it hard on yourself. But my very first reaction to bad luck is always judging and blaming myself.
That is incredibly common, Emily. Society teaches us to be very harsh and critical of ourselves. We have this loud voice inside our heads, an inner judge who is always ready to declare us guilty. When we experience bad luck, we secretly think we somehow deserve it. But this part of the letter is really asking us to practice compassion.
Compassion? Could you explain that beautiful word for our audience?
Of course, compassion means feeling deep sympathy for someone who is suffering and genuinely wanting to help them. But the most important and often hardest kind to practice is self-compassion. If your good friend, Sarah, failed a big university exam, you would never yell at her, right?
Oh, definitely not. I would buy her a warm cup of coffee. I would tell her how incredibly smart she is and carefully remind her that one test does not define her entire life.
Exactly. You would be so kind to her. But when we fail, we say terrible, hurtful things to ourselves. We say, I am so foolish, I will never succeed. The letter is a gentle reminder from our own soul. It's saying, please stop making it so hard on yourself.
I love looking at it that way. It's like shifting my inner dialogue, turning it into a quiet, supportive conversation with my own heart. Instead of attacking myself, I can just take a breath and say, today was a rough day. Some bad luck happened, but I'm still a good person and I'm okay.
Yes, exactly. You just have to gently let the frustration go. And that gracefully leads us to the most beautiful, poetic line in the entire letter. It says, today is the youngest day of your future days.
I actually got goosebumps when I first read that line. Today is the youngest day of your future days. It's such a profound truth, but we so rarely think about our lives in that direction.
It's wonderfully true, isn't it? We spend so much of our precious time worrying that we're getting too old. People constantly think, oh, I'm 35, it's way too late to change my career. Or, I'm 50 years old, it's too late to learn how to play the piano.
But the mathematical reality is compared to tomorrow or compared to next year, right now, sitting here at this exact second, you are the absolute youngest you will ever be. You have a completely clean slate.
This brings up another excellent vocabulary word for our listeners, optimism. Optimism is the bright, hopeful feeling that good things will happen in the future. When we truly realize that today is our youngest day, it instantly fills our hearts with optimism.
Because the past is completely finished. The mistakes we made yesterday are closed doors that we cannot open again. But today is just the pure starting point of your future path. The rest of your life's book has empty, unwritten pages waiting for you to write them.
Exactly. A few years ago, I decided to finally learn how to play the guitar. At first, I felt so foolish. My fingers hurt, I was so slow. My inner voice said, John, you're too old to learn this. But then I remembered, I'll never be younger than I am right now. Why not just start?
And I bet you're so glad you kept going.
I am. I'm not a rock star yet, but it brings me so much joy. And what is the absolute best way to start any new journey? By smiling. The letter asks us to always keep a smile on our face, starting from today.
Curious, do you think the smile is just a metaphor? Or should we physically smile even when we feel a bit sad inside?
I think it is wonderfully both. Scientifically speaking, the physical action of smiling actually sends a powerful signal directly to your brain. It tells your nervous system that you're safe, and it naturally releases chemicals that immediately make you feel calmer and happier.
Wow, really? So smiling is not just a reaction to feeling good, it's actually an active tool to create a good feeling.
Precisely. But emotionally, the smile is also a sacred promise to yourself. When you wake up, look in the bathroom mirror and gently smile, you're making a quiet agreement with your own soul. You're saying, no matter what bad luck I face today, I will not let it destroy my inner spirit.
That is so deeply comforting. It takes the heavy weight right off my shoulders. I don't need to control the whole world. I just need to remember that apart from life and death, my daily worries are just small matters.
Yes, exactly. You are alive, you have tomorrow, and you will always have the beautiful power to simply try again.
What a beautiful, healing journey this conversation has been today. Before we softly say goodbye, let's quickly review the 3 important English words we learned today so our listeners can carry them in their pockets.
Great idea, Emily. Our first word was perspective. Perspective is the way you mentally view things, helping you clearly understand what is truly important in life compared to what is trivial.
Our second word was compassion. Compassion means having a deep, gentle sympathy and kindness, especially towards yourself when you make a simple human mistake.
And our final vocabulary word was optimism. Optimism is a bright, confident, and hopeful feeling about the days to come.
Thoroughly talking about this beautiful letter today, it really healed a little part of my own heart. We sincerely hope that listening to this has brought some gentle peace and bright light into your day, wherever you are in the world.
We truly do. Remember to consciously take a deep breath, lightly brush off the small troubles, and lovingly give yourself the grace to begin again tomorrow. Please be sure to subscribe to our podcast and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. We would absolutely love to hear from you.
Yes, please share your own stories of optimism with us. And always remember, as you walk through your day, this letter is also written for you.
Goodbye, everyone. Keep that wonderful smile on your face, and we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.